What's a town without stone? Stone came from a quarry, and every lord or bishop who made a cathedral would have loved to have a quarry near their castle or cathedral. It was expensive to move stone, and lifting stone up required special devices. Most lords used pulleys and cranes to lift a stone. A human would stand on the pulley and it would push a stone into the cart. But these were expensive devices. It was hard to carry stones that come straight from the quarry. Most builders used wagons to move stone to the building site. Quarries were vital to making a castle or cathedral.
Castles aren't just built randomly. People would put lots of thought into the location of the castle. A beneficial location for a castle would be on a ground that is higher than the surrounding land, so that they would have an advantage in war. This was because archers could fire arrows down on their enemies, and they could defeat them easily. Another advantageous position is building your castle next to a river or body of water. This is advantageous because water can be used as trade routes for ships, so you can get more materials and resources for your growing city. This can also be beneficial for protection because the enemies can't easily cross the water. As you can see, our city is protected by a river that is also a major source of trade and commerce.
Many medieval cities were built near rivers. This is because they would provide protection and make trade easier. The river served as protection by not allowing invaders to come in without a boat. To accommodate trade, the city would need piers and docks for the trading ships. The port area of the city is mostly made of wood. Materials from the boats or ships are taken off and loaded onto the docks. Some materials were sold directly to the dock, while others were transported to the markets.
There are many different architectural features of the castle and city walls. One design they would use is the arrow loops. The arrow loops would make it easier for the soldiers to shoot through them since they are small, which would make the enemy shot a lot harder. Another thing they use to get better shots is the embouchure, which would give them higher ground for their shot, and enemies make it harder for them to shoot as well. Cities and castles use so much protection to their castle, even on the inside of the outer wall. If the enemy got through the portcullis, they would trap them in between the entrance of the castle and the portcullis, and from above, they would drop boiling oil or another hot liquid out of a hole in the ceiling.
In the castle, they have many defenses. The curtain wall was the vast stone wall which wrapped around the outside of the castle. This wall was the main layer of defense, and it tended to be incredibly strong. Usually, the center of the wall was made of rough rocks and rumble, and the outer parts were made of gigantic stones, laid like modern-day bricks. This method of construction gave the core of the wall extra strength and helped it to withstand battering rams and missiles. Other defenses that every castle has is the gateway, which has many different defenses. One of them is the drawbridge. A technique that is used in the defense of the castle is to put the barbican farther away from the main gate so that when people come in that aren't supposed to be there, get confused and can't find the keep. This helps so that people don't sneak into the keep and disrupt the castle or steal.
The houses were usually made out of stone or branches put together with mud. The roofs were usually thatched with straw or materials like that, and had window openings with wood shutters. Most townhouses were where lower-class people lived because they were not made out of the best materials, so they were much cheaper. Poorer people, aka serfs, would also live outside the castle walls because all the houses in the walls were far too expensive. The nobles or middle-class people would live in manors, castles, or nice houses in the town walls. The richer people had nicer homes with materials such as glass, stone roofs, and walls completely made out of stone.
People lived very simply. They wake up in the morning, go to work, come home, and eat, then sleep. In the winter, it was very cold. They used fire to keep themselves warm. In the hot seasons, they still have to have fire burning to cook food. The interior of the townhouses were made out of wood. In order to see while you're in the house, it needs light. They lit their houses with candlelight. So with a wood house, it could catch fire very easily. Inside the houses were very basic. They had a bucket to go to the bathroom, a chest for their clothes and belongings, and they had a simple bed that was not very comfortable. All these houses were on one level, not more than one floor. If there was a top floor, like in this building, you would see that the top floor wasn't for living. It was for work. If someone wanted to work in their house, they could have a workshop upstairs.
The Middle Eastern town is a necessity for trade. There are many goods, so people need to live there to work for the trade. People need comfortable and The Middle Eastern style homes are built to deal with the climate of the desert. The climate changes dramatically. In the day, it is really hot, and in the night, it is freezing. So the architecture has to withstand the extreme weather by keeping the house cool in the day and insulating in the night. The design elements of the Islamic architecture are the dome and the arch. The arch distributes the weight evenly. In some homes, there are even courtyards, so an Islamic family has privacy, allowing the woman to remove the hijab. The hijab is the cover Islamic women wear to cover their face.
Lots of people in the Middle Ages were extremely religious. For Muslims, the mosque was the center of their lives and their cities. They were all filled with beautiful designs. The basic design elements of a mosque were 4 main walls that form a rectangle shape and a roof. Additional rooms include the prayer hall, ablution area, minaret, minbar, and mihrab. The ablution area is where you wash your hands and feet before entering the mosque. The minaret is a tall tower where the muezzin calls all the Muslims for prayer. The minbar is where the prayer leader delivers sermons. Finally, the mihrab is where the congregation faces to pray. Adhan, the Islamic call to prayer, is done 5 times a day, and when it happens, most of the townspeople go to the mosque.